The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most enduring mysteries in history. A place where compasses malfunction, electronics go haywire, and radios offer nothing but static. And a place where people seem to simply vanish off the face of the earth. Everybody is familiar with the unexplained disappearances that continue to happen in a place seemingly so sinister that it's even often referred to as the Devil's Triangle. There are no official records as to exactly how many ships and planes have fallen victim to the triangle, but we do know that at least 75 ships and over 100 planes have gone missing there, and over 1,000 people have vanished without a trace. Why does the Bermuda Triangle keep claiming victims to this day? Is it the result of something supernatural? Or is there a logical explanation to it all? Let's find out. First, a little information about the infamous triangle itself. The Bermuda Triangle is in the North Atlantic Ocean off the coast of America. The exact size of the Bermuda Triangle is disputed, but it is thought to occupy an area of between 500,000 and 1 million square miles in a triangle between Miami, Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. While we all know of the place today by the name the Bermuda Triangle, the name was only coined in the 1960s by an author named Vincent H. Gaddis. Gaddis wrote about the Bermuda Triangle in an article called The Deadly Bermuda Triangle for a pulp magazine, and his sinister spin on the strange location helped both popularize and sensationalize the Bermuda Triangle in the minds of everyone who has heard of it since. According to Gaddis, the Bermuda Triangle had been responsible for the disappearance of hundreds of ships and planes even by 1964, and although we can't be sure of the exact amount that have gone missing, it certainly was not as many as Gaddis claimed. A number of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are well-known unexplained mysteries. The 1918 disappearance of the USS Cyclops, one of the US Navy's largest fuel ships, happened under strange circumstances. Not only did the captain of the Cyclops send no distress signal, but nobody on the ship was even responding to any of the radio calls from the countless other ships in the area. Over 300 passengers and crew members simply vanished. The same thing happened to arguably the most famous example of a mysterious vanishing in the Bermuda Triangle, Flight 19. In 1945, 5 torpedo bombers took off from a naval air station at Fort Lauderdale. Nobody knows where those planes have landed, or even if they have landed. Although Flight 19 was a training flight, the pilots involved were by no means inexperienced. They had all logged over 300 hours of flight time, and their leader was Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, who was an experienced pilot and World War II veteran. While flying over the waters of the Bermuda Triangle, after completing the first part of the training exercise, Taylor was sure that they had been going in the wrong direction because his compass was malfunctioning. A storm front then further disorientated the pilots, with one of them saying over the radio, "I don't know where we are. We must have gotten lost at the last turn." The group eventually encountered another pilot, who asked them if they needed assistance. That pilot then got in contact with Air Station, who in turn got in contact with Taylor. Taylor, increasingly anxious by this time, told them that he was sure both of his compasses were broken, but that he was flying over the Florida Keys. This was impossible, however, based on how long the group had been flying for. Taylor and his group were never able to regain their sense of direction for unknown reasons. Taylor, thinking he was leading the other pilots in the right direction, actually kept leading them further and further out to sea. Chillingly, the pilots realized this, saying that they would have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together. This was the last transmission. Static replaced words, and they were lost forever. What is even stranger is that one of the planes sent out to rescue the lost pilots of Flight 19 also disappeared without a trace, although this is commonly attributed to an explosion. So what is causing all these strange incidents? Well, According to some, there are dark, unexplainable forces at play in the Bermuda Triangle. Are their theories correct? Or is the explanation something much more natural? One common theory explaining the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is that the triangle is like a gateway to another universe, sort of like a black hole. If you think that sounds a little far-fetched, well, you're right. There isn't any real evidence to back up this theory, except for the claims of some people who say that time slows down or speeds up when travelling through the area. The biggest claim to support this theory comes from Bruce Gernon, a pilot who said he escaped an incident in the area during the 1970s. Gernon claimed that he piloted through an electronic fog, a grey cloud-like haze that caused his plane's equipment to malfunction, and for his 90-minute journey to take only 40 minutes. Whilst this apparent electronic fog may be an example of the highly debated Hutchison effect, there is little evidence to prove its existence in the Bermuda Triangle. Another theory that attempts to explain the disappearances is as outlandish as the gateway to another universe theory: Atlantis. Yep, that Atlantis. According to some, the lost city under the sea is actually not so lost and is under the ocean in the Bermuda Triangle, causing ships and planes to sink to their doom. The Atlantis theory was mainly popularized by author Charles Berlitz in his 1974 book, The Bermuda Triangle. Berlitz believed that the so-called incredibly advanced technology of Atlantis was interfering with the equipment of planes and boats, and when they sunk to the ocean floor, the people inside them were enjoying a new life under the sea in Atlantis. Obviously, the Atlantis theory, while a fun idea, is completely incorrect. Berlitz's claims have been disputed by any number of reputable scientists, and journalist Larry Couch expertly summed up Charles Berlitz's incredibly poor research by saying, if Berlitz were to report that a boat were red, the chance of it being some other colour is almost a certainty. The final major supernatural theory about the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is of course the extraterrestrial activity. Aliens are snatching up people left, right and centre to perform experiments on them. Claims of UFO sightings in the Bermuda Triangle are not uncommon, with one even as recent as 2014. A passenger on a Carnival cruise claimed they saw a UFO fly over the cruise ship in the middle of the day and even captured some video footage of it. Although nothing has been confirmed, and it is certainly strange that no other passengers reported seeing anything. UFO sightings at the Bermuda Triangle may have been occurring as early as 1492, when Christopher Columbus travelled through the triangle on his journey to America. Columbus reported that a great flame crashed into the sea, and a strange light appeared a while later. While there are various scientific explanations for what Columbus saw, ufologists believe that it is more likely evidence of an extraterrestrial encounter. Further adding to the UFO theory is the fact that the US Navy operates a top-secret base in the Bahamas, officially known as the Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center, AUTEC, but dubbed Underwater Area 51 by many conspiracy theorists. While the base has a completely logical purpose to conduct research about undersea warfare, UFO conspiracy theorists believe that the base is actually a place where the Navy works alongside aliens to conduct time travel experiments, and the aliens have a base in one of the ocean's deepest trenches, situated in the Bermuda Triangle. Obviously, all these claims are completely unverified, but like anything to do with extraterrestrialists, that doesn't stop people from speculating, and that doesn't stop people hoping that these speculations are real. So, if it's not electrical fog, Atlantis, or aliens causing all the strange incidents at the Bermuda Triangle, what is really going on? Why are people continuing to vanish in this particular area? Well, the answer to that question is a lot simpler than UFO interference or underwater civilizations. It's nature. There are a lot of natural phenomena that occur in the ocean that can cause planes and ships to go down and be lost for good. All of these phenomena are studied and documented by scientists, and are more than likely the reasons for most of the Bermuda Triangle's disappearances. First of all, there is the often mentioned theory of magnetic anomalies. This is the theory often given as to why Flight 19 disappeared. Something went wrong with their compasses, they couldn't find their bearings, and they were lost in the Bermuda Triangle. However, this theory is not entirely accurate, as while the Earth does have some magnetic anomalies, they aren't very close to the Bermuda Triangle. Compass variations did affect the Bermuda Triangle before the 19th century, but no longer do, as the Earth's magnetic field constantly changes. Another theory that could potentially explain the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is pockets of explosive methane gas rising to the water's surface, causing the water to be less dense than the ships, and therefore causing the ships to sink. While this could explain why some ships have mysteriously sunk in the Bermuda Triangle, no scientific experiments have been done to prove the theory. There are two main theories that are most likely the explanations for the strange disappearances in the so-called Devil's Triangle. And unfortunately for conspiracy theorists and those who love a good spooky story, these two theories are not particularly exciting. They are simple: massive storms and human error. Because the Bermuda Triangle is a place known as Hurricane Valley, there are many turbulent storms in the area, easily bad enough to cause problems for those traveling through the triangle. These storms can also cause waterspouts, which are essentially tornadoes made of water that can easily down planes and wreck ships. Worst of all though, the storms can cause rogue waves. Rogue waves are caused when large waves from storms come together to form one gigantic wave, easily 100 feet or 30 meters high. Described as a wall of water by scientists, these waves are enough to destroy even the largest of ships, and may have been the cause of the USS Cyclops' downfall. After the ships are destroyed by the waves, the Gulf Stream, a strong water current that flows through the area, is powerful enough to sweep away any evidence of the wreckage. The other theory, the one that accounts for most of the vanishings, is simply human error. What most stories that paint the Bermuda Triangle as a mysterious place fail to mention is the fact that it is one of the most heavily trafficked shipping and travel routes in the world. Thousands upon thousands of boats and planes pass through the area without a problem each year, so there is bound to be mishaps that happen. A plane or boat can malfunction, a pilot or captain can underestimate a hazard. These are common problems that happen every day all around the world, not just in the Bermuda Triangle. However, interestingly enough, there is actually no higher rate of disappearance or mishap in this area than anywhere else in the world. It just makes for a great scary story. It turns out there are some pretty logical explanations as to why people keep vanishing in the Bermuda Triangle, and in fact, the area may not be so mysterious after all. We hope you enjoyed the video. What theories do you have on the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for more interesting videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and most importantly, share.